how did you find yourself? When? Any advice?
How did you find yourself?
Yeah. Like maybe once you were lost, you were petrified.
At first I was afraid.
Yeah. I paraphrased that.
I was petrified. You didn't finish it for me. You could have clipped that. Could have clipped that. Oh, when did I find myself? I mean, still finding myself, for sure. When did I get comfortable with myself? I think, I don't know. I'm a really big goal setter. Like every year I would set goals for myself. Like I wouldn't do it like on New Year's. I'd probably do it like a month after or something. Like it would be on my to-do list. Like I'm going to realign. I'm going to talk to myself. I'm going to hang with myself. I'm going to realign and see what I want. And I think one of the most powerful years, I, for the first time, didn't set my goals as objectives. Like it wasn't like make this much money, do these things, make this many YouTube videos, post this much on Instagram, spend time spend time with family, go on this many camping trips, try these 5 new things, read a book a month, whatever it is. It wasn't like a physical. It was adding values into my life. So I'd wake up, for a year I did this. There was a book called Rules for a Night. I've given it to all my friends. Super short little coffee table book. I would, before I made this like a thing, the reason that where I got these values, if you want to read this book, Rules for a Night, it's barely reading. It's tiny little passages. They just touch on different things. Honesty, discipline, humility, gratitude. Like each chapter is like labeled like that, and it's really short read, and I'd read it, and it would take me maybe 3 to 5 minutes to read it, and I'd just meditate on it for like 30 minutes. Just like think about it, just think about it. No real intention with it, but just like try to break it down, read it over and over again, like just like what are they saying, like how would I apply this into my life, like just think like that. From that book, I probably picked 6 that really stuck with me. And that year, that was my goal. Every morning, I had it written on my wall. I'd stand in front of it, and I would recite it. And I would the first one was discipline. Or no, the first one was patience. And I just realized that old timers are patient. Guys that don't make a lot of mistakes are patient. Girls that don't make a lot of mistakes, patient. Patience is super important to living a solid life that you're proud of. Another one was gratitude. A day reflects a life is what I tell myself. If I can wake up every day and be grateful, that's going to be a good life. Like if I can just manage to be grateful every day, hell of a life. Humility. This was sometime I think during COVID, and it dawned on me how every living thing relies on each other, right? And kindness is like a daily meditation to that. If you're just kind every day, you're meditating on the fact that I need all of this. Like, you know, COVID happens and all of a sudden you appreciate the mailman a lot. You know what I mean? Just like small things. You're like, bro, I can't do anything by myself.
Yeah.
Or the flights, I can't fly anywhere. My whole job was international. Oh, I can't make money anymore. I need airlines. I was like, wow, I'm not as independent as I thought. Discipline. I really wanted to apply discipline into my life because I realized that was freedom. If you're disciplined, you're free, which is an interesting contradiction, but it's really true. Like if you're disciplined, you have all the time in the world. Like I would tell myself, what was it? I think it was, a moment of free, like, I don't remember my little saying, but I had this cute little saying for myself.
Like
but
a
it was
little
just
mantra.
Yeah, it was a little mantra, but it's just the idea is like, if you can be disciplined, you're gonna live a very free life because you're gonna have, everything's gonna be on your time and your clock, and you're not gonna be giving your time and wasting your time. Like those days when you're kind of half productive and it takes you 12 hours to do something that you really could have done with 4 if you just were focused. So discipline is something I wanted to add in my life. A huge one for me was honesty. And my idea behind honesty was being yourself, letting yourself be yourself, being true to who you are. Like just those little lies you say, or like to me, this is the perfect small example. When someone's like, you know the kind, and you're like, oh yeah, but you don't know the kind. You know what I mean? You're just kind of faking it, like you don't want to have that awkward, like you don't want to be the guy that doesn't know.
Especially in other languages that happen.
Yeah.
When you travel, they're just like, when you're learning the language and they ask if you understand and you just say yes, or si, or enya, eka, whatever it is, whatever language. We.
And I think it's super minor, but I think that there's a bigger part of that. So to me, it's just like honesty, just always being honest was just me allowing myself to be completely comfortable in who I was.
Yeah.
And not hiding anything. Not because once you hide something about who you are, you're shaming that part of you.
Yeah.
So to me, I was just like, you know, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to try to be radically honest about who I am.
Yeah.
That one was huge for me. And the other one was observance. Observing how I feel, like when I feel things. And why. You get a little angry, you get a little jealous. You know, these emotions that usually control. I see so many people have zero control over their emotions. Like it's just zero control. They're just on some complete little boy shit of just like, bruh, grow up. Like just have a little bit of, and that was me not too long ago, but just like you have to have a little bit of, you have to, the power of sitting with those things and understanding why you're feeling a certain way and observing. I think there's that old saying like, which wolf are you feeding? Like where's your, are you like, you know, feeding into that jealousy, into that anger, you know, or are you feeding into a more positive thing? So for me, that was one. But so to answer the guy's question or the girl's question, I forget who asked it, it would be, I sat down and I realized that I kind of viewed myself as a garden. I can weed what I don't like in here, mentally, spiritually, physically. It's not who I am, is who I decide to be. And I can go in and I can weed and I can take things out and I can replant things. And as long as you're down to put in time every day, you're going to have a beautiful, flourishing garden. And it's super possible. It just takes discipline. I would say it's the first thing.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good book. I think finding yourself, it was his more specific question. For me, honesty was that thing. But I think everyone has a different path to finding who they are. But taking that time to be with yourself.
And you forgot one more thing. Clip it.
Clip it.